Hi, this is the introductory video for Module 2. I'm going to talk a little bit about just some housekeeping items about what's going on with the course, and then just a little bit about what you're going to be learning in Module 2. So, a little bit about the course, just so that some of you know. I know you had trouble adding in the last week of, or in the week of add drop. I don't know why this was such an issue this time, except that I know over the summer the course was first put into Athena as a face-to-face course. And I know some of you signed up for it believing that it was and didn't know that it was an online course. That came to my attention. I let the powers that be know, and they changed that. But I think when they changed that, they made then the online course also a POD, which means permission of department. So even if there was room in the class, you were having to get permission from me just to join the class, which I was like, why is this happening this semester? So, that didn't affect some of you at all, but for some of you, it's just a little bit of an explanation, which I had absolutely nothing to do with, just so that you know. It was just put into Athena wrong to begin with. So hopefully that'll be our one glitch this entire semester. Anyway, so Module 2. Module 2 is going to talk about the goals of education, some of the early ideas about education, schooling, which they're different, and also the learner and the nature of the learner. Basically things about the nature of the learner changed during the Enlightenment. The ideas about how we learn, what our basic nature is. Is it evil? Is it neutral? Is it good? And you're going to learn, if you haven't already, in maybe Western Civ classes, that kind of thing, a little bit about what John Locke believed, what Rousseau believed about the learner, and some other philosophers and thinkers of the time. And it's going to be a very different approach to education depending on how you think the child's basic nature is. If you think the child is essentially evil and a sinner, and you have to get all the bad things out of that child, your approach to education is going to be different than if you believe the child is neutral or a tabula rasa, that can just be a blank slate that can just be written upon. Obviously, the surroundings and environment is going to be a big issue then. Or whether you believe the child is inherently good. The approaches to education obviously are going to be very different based on what you believe, what as a society you believe the child is capable of, and the basic nature of the child. So that's some interesting ideas about the beginnings of educational approaches to socializing children. Anyway, so you're going to learn a little bit about that in Spring Chapter 2, and then let's see. You are going to also watch a PowerPoint. Just as a reminder, when you're watching the PowerPoints, please download them. I know we had some content viewer issues at the beginning of this semester. It's a better idea just to download them anyway, because oftentimes, and you would have seen this in Module 1, I include links that if you click on them, it takes you right to a little movie or a little, snippet of something, or even just a web page. So those are very important. So when you're watching the PowerPoints, please watch them in slideshow mode, because the links won't link up otherwise. So download the PowerPoints and then go ahead and click on them. Now for the videos, they're going to take up too much space probably on your on your computer unless you've got a bunch of space. So I wouldn't suggest downloading those. But anyway, it will help you a lot more. And if you didn't do that with the first module's videos or PowerPoints, you probably want to go back and review that information. So, but I think in Module 2, I don't think I have any links in the couple of PowerPoints there. But the first PowerPoint is very brief. It's just going to talk about, again, sort of a summary of some of the basic ideas about education during the forming of our country, of the United States. So that information came from a different book, not from your spring book, and I included the chapter that I took a lot of that information out of in the supplemental readings. It is not, required reading, but if, there's some of you who really want to go and find out where I got that information, I included it. Let's see. So then you're going to watch a movie well, you're going to read Spring Chapter 2, and I've included that in the supplemental readings as well if you haven't received your copy yet. But you need to have the Spring book by next week because Chapter 3 I have not scanned it and put it onto the uploaded it. And then the other 2 books, you begin readings in those 2 books as well by next week. So please make sure that you've acquired the books in some way. All right, so you're going to watch a little movie. It's actually part of a PBS series, and it's a documentary about the history of education, about the history of schooling in the United States. And it's narrated by Meryl Streep. I'm only showing you the first episode. There are like 5 or 6 episodes, but I believe it's like $700 to have the whole what do you call it, series, and we have it, but that would take a long time to watch. But if you're interested at all, there may be links to it, I don't know, to some of the other episodes on the internet somewhere. So it's really an interesting first episode because it takes you back to the Common School, to Horace Mann, to a lot of the early ideas about schooling in the United States. Some of the people that they reference in the video are Diane Ravitch, Joel Spring, some of the authors of your books that I'm using in this course. So I don't think they do Linda Darling Hammond, but maybe they do. I don't remember. But anyway, so it's interesting. You'll get to see what they actually look like. Well, or what they looked like 15 years ago when the video was made. So anyway, then I'm going to do, let's see. Okay, then you're going to read the Rothstein and Jacobson article. And again, it's a really, really good article that summarizes the goals of public education in this country. Well, and they even talk about the goals in other countries and how we compare. So that's a really good article to read. And then I reference that article and some of the things that they talked about in that article in the next PowerPoint. That PowerPoint, I have used some new software that I bought to talk over the PowerPoint so I can sort of lecture along with the PowerPoint. Welcome to the 21st century for me, but and technology. So I'm trying. But anyway, so hopefully you'll get something out of that. I'm trying to keep my videos and my lectures under 15 minutes. That's hard sometimes, and I'm not going to guarantee that always happens, but I'm doing my best because I know that things can get really boring, and they probably already are in this video. So I'm sorry about that. But anyway, so please review that PowerPoint lecture. It's a link on YouTube that I've included in the module. And I also included the actual PowerPoint as well in case you wanted a hard copy of that to maintain. Remember that the quizzes that I give you are every 2 weeks. So they're based on the previous 2 modules of information. The previous 2 modules meaning all the chapters that you read in those 2 weeks, all the videos or PowerPoints that you viewed, all the information, articles that you read, that kind of thing. So you're welcome to go back and review any of your notes, any of those PowerPoints, all of that stuff. But you need to either have a hard copy of the PowerPoint, a hard copy of the book. That's why I don't suggest a Kindle copy or an electronic copy only. Although, some of you know how to highlight and take notes from that, and that's fine. But anyway, just, FYI about how the quizzes work. They're only 10 questions. And I will drop the lowest quiz, and you take, 7 or 8 of them over the course of the semester. I will drop the lowest quiz if you watch the movie Lolly's Kin, and I will probably have a viewing. I will schedule a viewing on campus for those of you that can make it for later, for several weeks into the semester. And then maybe I can meet some of you, but you can always order the movie online as well because it's one of my favorite videos. But I can't find it on the internet just to show you. You have to actually purchase it as a DVD. Anyway, so that brings me to another point. I've included in your assignments folder in ELC 3 new updated copies of what the assignments are so that you can begin reviewing those. One is the Schools and Film critique essay. Very important. That's going to be a major portion of your grade. And the other assignment is, of course, the PowerPoint project research assignment that you're going to do about a particular critical issue in education. So you're going to need to start thinking about those the issues and possibly what you might want to research and find out more about and then present in a PowerPoint or Prezi or, however electronically you can present it format. Okay, so watch the PowerPoints and slideshow. Go ahead and go through the Module 2 information. You will have a discussion topic that you'll have to respond to. And remember, you're responding to the discussion topic that I put in there. And then you're responding as well to at least one of the other students in the class as well, in a respectful manner, of course. And, hopefully in a substantive manner as well, and not just, hey, that was great, I liked what you said about this. Okay, so try to make it substantive. Let's see. So the first quiz you're going to take is also this week as well. So go ahead and, plan for that. So let's see. I'm going to be on campus, it turns out, on Tuesdays during the day. I will be there. I can be there pretty much any time after about 10 o'clock. So if you want, I have a class that I am going to between 12 and 2. So anything before 12, between 10 and 12, and after 2 on that day, I can probably meet with you. I won't be at Adderhold, but I can make arrangements to be at Adderhold if you'd like. Anyway, so I just wanted you guys to know that I'm available there if that becomes an issue, if you really want to talk to me in person, face-to-face. So other than that, review the assignments that I now placed into the assignments folder. Please review the field experience folder as well. I also put an introductory video in there for that to go over what you need for that. And of course, go over all the Module 2 information, make sure you understand it, and make sure it's all working properly. I have to set dates and I have to set settings within ELC, and I do make mistakes. I am human, and sometimes I accidentally forget a 1 or, whatever. I mess up on the date, and so it doesn't open when it needs to. So please contact me by email if, I've made an error on any of those things. I'd be happy to fix it. So, again, think about the goals of education, what the original goals were in the United States, and perhaps what they are now, based on just what, maybe your extensive knowledge of education today or your limited knowledge of education today. Just, be thinking about those things, because that's what we're learning in Module 2. And I will talk to you next week.